questions. Firstly, may I ask Dr. Sima? I have 3 questions. Dr. Sima, I have 3 questions for you. Can you give the scientific reply against fiction? Like, number 1, COVID-19 vaccine. It is never have been vaccine like as it is RNA vaccine. It is a trans infection that can change human DNA. That's number 1. Number 2, it contains a metal that make our body internet antenna for the 5G. That's 2. And 3, also some claims that this is a vaccine has a special stain called luciferase that's work with nanoparticles to store biometry of a person. Okay, you can answer the question, please.
Yes, thank you very much. This is a very controversial topic, and I would like to cover it in all its entirety as much as I possibly can. First, part of the question was that this type of vaccine was never present before. Just as I mentioned, just to recollect a little bit on what I mentioned, is that this type of vaccine does not require the introduction of the antigen itself. It only requires the DNA of the antigen in order to activate the immune response. So the main reason behind this vaccine being different from any other classical vaccine we ever dealt with is the question of speed, the question of how fast the vaccine, at least some doses, at least the first experimental shipment of the doses is available. And as we have all collectively agreed, and my colleagues have previously mentioned, there is a huge political issue because the government, which is comprised of many different people of different specialties, not just medical, are being exerted much pressure upon. So the government is being pushed into developing the vaccine fast, which basically means we had to activate nanotechnology. And nanotechnology as a term in itself is supposed to mean, frustratingly to many people, that this is something that is supposed to change the DNA of the organism it enters. So I have to tell you this, when it comes to genetic engineering, the actual concept of genetic engineering, we have to look at 2 different categories. The first category is trying to alter the DNA of an organism, or trying to advance the DNA of the organism so that the organism, as it grows and develops, has less or no predisposing factors for neoplastic diseases, cancer diseases, and and non-cancerous but other neoplastic or even viral diseases. So with that in mind, I personally think my strict point on this is that yes, it can change the human DNA, but it can rather change the human DNA to advance it so that there is less predisposition to cancer diseases and other diseases. In accordance to 5G in the body, I personally have an opinion that it hasn't been widely verified and proven yet that there is 5G where the person can be tracked everywhere they go. This is more of a conspiracy theory, in my opinion, than it's very important to me. When talking about luciferase, we're talking about something called process called bioluminescence of protein denaturation and light emission. So basically, the point of this, in more simple terms, even though I am discussing my points here when medicine here, but is when we are dealing, once again, we are talking about the restoration of DNA. We are talking about advancement in biomedicine. We are talking about how we can use this particular vaccine components, this particular vaccine formula structure to actually, then work out methods and technical processes to then prevent and treat very serious diseases, cancer, how we can give people hopes, many people around the world hopes in terms of stage 3 or even stage 4 cancer, gastrointestinal cancers, which are rapidly growing once we have that diagnosis being put, pulmonary cancers, and even skin cancers, the different types that grow very, very rapidly. So this is where I think, when we're talking about this process of bioluminescence in relation to the RNA vaccine mentioned here, we are actually witnessing the fact that right now we have the opportunity in its purity to not only prevent and treat coronavirus, which is a type of a flu virus anyway, but we have the opportunity to treat the more difficult diseases, the more complicated diseases non-invasively, which is incredibly important, because we have all been witnessing different types of cancer treatments, including invasive or non-invasive surgery. Non-invasive surgery meaning radiosurgery, for example, in brain, in adenoma removal or resection. We have been witnessing gamma knife treatment as opposed to just regular invasive surgery with the scalpel, to cut through the tumor itself. However, this type of vaccine or this type of track that we are starting right now is actually, believe it or not, historic. And, and once again, yes, we are thinking about COVID, but we should not ignore the fact that what these vaccines do contain, and what's not a conspiracy theory, but a fact, are actually, the pre-opportunity, the pre-marketing factors, the pre-markers, that's what I wanted to say, the pre-markers for something that can treat the more complicated, rare, and mutating diseases. Because one more point before I wrap it up here, we know that many cancer cells can mutate. So even after surgery, even after an intervention, you can at times never call the patient into remission for decades sometimes, because there is no actual hope. There is no actual way of being sure that these cells could not have been mutated and not gone metastatically into other parts of the body, tissues, tendons, on a cytological level. So when we're thinking about cancer and virus, there is basically a theory. There is basically one point to make, that the RNA vaccine, I'm not saying that we can use it as a vaccine against cancer, because that wouldn't be competent of me to say, but I'm trying to say that the actual precomposition factors used for this particular vaccine and the technology methods used for this type of vaccine can in fact be used for other medications or formulas to prevent and treat many other diseases. And this is where COVID-19 is going to be eventually taken as a joke for scientists and medical professionals to even completely eliminate in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.